Sonaba All the Days, suena Pray for Sound, y qué pedazo de banda con la que vamos a hablar en el día de hoy en Es Esto de la Fábrica, esta sección que hemos denominado de esta manera, en donde hablamos a grandes rasgos de la industria de la música, donde siempre tratamos de nutrirnos de algún diálogo, de algún entrevistado, para hablar justamente de eso, de los nuevos movimientos que hay, de cómo es la nueva onda, los nuevos circuitos de música que hay, en una industria donde hace un montón de años, y no tanto, había que tener containers y ese tipo de cosas, contar con ese tipo de cosas para poder mover una obra de un lado al otro del océano Pacífico, del océano Índico, de lo que se te ocurra. Hoy eso ha cambiado, han aparecido las redes sociales, han aparecido un montón de cosas, y es por eso que nos gusta reanalizar esto, volver a hablar de esto, y para eso hoy vamos a estar hablando con Nicolás de Pray for Sound, una banda que acabamos de escuchar. Ellos están en Boston, en Estados Unidos. Hello, Nicolás. No sé si me escucha. ¿Estamos bien ahí? Hello, how are you? Are you there?
Hi, can you hear me?
Hi. Yes, I can hear you, right? Ahí se suma también Bruce. Ahí va, welcome Bruce.
Hello.
Oh, wow, excelente. Una fiesta, estamos con Nicolás y estamos con Bruce. ¿Cómo les va? How are you? Hello, desde Argentina. Bueno, Raúl, si te parece bien, arranca la nota nomás y nada, vamos a pasarla bien acá con los amigos de Pray for Sound.
Sí, thank you for your time. First of all, thanks for being here. So we are glad to meet you. Thanks. Vamos a empezar con
thanks for having us.
Okay. So please tell us your full name, where are you from, and how old are you?
So I'm Bruce Malley from, I guess I just moved to New Hampshire. So I live in New Hampshire now, in the United States. And I'm 33 years old.
Ok. Bueno, le pregunté el nombre, de dónde era, y me dijo que es Bruce Miley. Ahora se movió a New Hampshire y está en Estados Unidos. Sí, se entiende todo perfecto.
Esto ni lo traduzcamos.
Sí, la verdad que sí.
Vamos con Nicolás.
Sí, Nicolás, where are you from?
I'm from Massachusetts, which is where Bruce was originally from, and that's where our band rehearses, also in the United States, just north of Boston. And I'm 29. Sorry, I don't have the video right now, but I'm happy to be here right now, so thanks for having us.
It's okay. We like the sound. We prefer sound.
¿Están muy lejos entre ellos?
Uno está en Boston y el otro está en New Hampshire, así que, pero la base...
Sí, pero es muy lejos, preguntale.
It's far away, Boston from New Hampshire, or you're close?
20 minutes.
Okay.
Very close.
Okay, están a 20 minutos, así que están cerca. Y lo que dijo Nicolás es que la base de la banda, ellos son de Boston, Massachusetts, y ahí es a donde ensayan y a donde tienen su fuerte, digamos. And which was your first instrument?
So I play guitar.
Okay. All your life you play guitar?
Yeah. So I've played since I was 13.
Okay.
I've just been playing. My dad plays guitar, so he kind of taught me. Mm-hmm. And I've screwed around with keyboard and bass, and I have a drum set, but I'm very bad at them.
Happens, yes. Okay. Bruce nos cuenta que a los 13 empezó a tocar la guitarra, que fue su instrumento de toda la vida, y que el padre también es guitarrista, así que empezó un poco a tocar la guitarra por él y le enseñó lo básico. Nicolás, your first instrument?
My first instrument is also guitar.
Okay.
I've been playing also actually since I was 13. Mm-hmm. I would consider that my primary instrument, but I do feel pretty comfortable playing bass guitar. There's a lot more synthesizers on our more later recordings. Some of that stuff is me as well. And I'm feeling actually pretty good about drums these days as well. But I really consider myself a guitarist first and foremost.
Ok. Le pregunté a Nicolás sobre su primer instrumento y me dijo, que su instrumento principal es la guitarra, pero también se siente bien tocando la batería un poco. Sí, muchos sintetizadores también, y que es bajista. Nicolás, you are a bass player.
Yeah, whenever I'm working on music at home, I will sort of lay down like a basic arrangement, and I'll do it on guitar first. Hey, look at that, nice, killer.
Y yo toco el bajo.
No,
I would like to play.
Sí.
Oops, sorry, what were you going to say?
They are making funny of me, Nicholas, because I'm a bass player too. I love bass. So they are making funny of the bass player. And please tell...
I was just going to say bass is great.
Of course, yeah, thank you. And dice que el bajo es lo mejor del mundo, así que muchas gracias. We want to know which is your first memory listening to music, please.
Oh, wow. My first memory listening to music, so my dad is also a musician, so there's a lot of music in our household. And he used to, way back when, he used to make mix cassettes for me that I would listen to in the car while we were driving. So my first memory listening to music is probably when I was about 4 or 5 with headphones in the back of the car. And it was like some like cheesy 80s pop song. I don't know what it was, but it had a great chorus and I was hooked on it. So I would just rewind it and play it and listen to it over and over again. That was probably like, I don't know, 1997 or something like that.
Wow, nice. Sí. Bueno, le pregunté a Nicolás cuál fue su primer recuerdo. Dice que el padre también era músico y que hacía mixtapes, que le armaba cassettes con un montón de canciones. Dice cheesy music de los 80, sí, música medio bufarra de los 80. Sí.
Me llevó a Stranger Things, a The Music of Stranger Things,
sí.
That mixtape.
Nicolás,
exactly.
Exactly,
sí.
yeah.
Ahí está.
My English is not the better, but I hope we can understand us.
Perfecto. Yes. And Bruce, your first memory listening to music?
Yeah, I remember my dad getting Nevermind by Nirvana on cassette. The week it came out, something like that. He bought the cassette and we listened to it on the drive home. And he has a VHS tape of me, a recording as probably around 5 years old, something like that. Just completely rocking out to the drums in particular. I don't remember what song it is, but yeah, just freaking out as a kid. So that's a pretty fun one.
Wow.
To remember.
Wow. Dice, bueno, Bruce nos cuenta que el padre le pasó Nevermind de Nirvana y que fue su primer recuerdo. Dice que jugaba como a tocar la batería así bien fuerte en el aire y bueno, volaba escuchando Nevermind. And sorry the question, but your father was like a classic musician, a rock and roll musician. What kind of stuff?
He plays rock guitar. Some of his favorite musicians are like Jerry Garcia. He likes Pink Floyd a lot.
Okay.
The Cure. So his bands have always been in kind of jam band, rock guitar kind of sound.
Le pregunté a Bruce, bueno, que me disculpe por la pregunta, bueno, pero ¿qué clase de música escuchaba el padre? Y me dijo que sí, que escuchaba mucho Jerry Garcia, Pink Floyd, The Cure, que eran bandas rockeras más que nada. And your family, Nicholas, which kind of music listen?
My dad is definitely like a blues guy through and through. Like blues music, I think, is the thing that was the catalyst for him to start playing music himself. But he honestly has a really wide library of music, honestly, starting like right at the beginning, like with Elvis, like right up through the 90s, the whole grunge movement. He's always been really on the ball with staying with what's current and like sort of what's happening as far as like the rock space and rock and R&B and blues and soul music is concerned. So we talk about music a lot actually, and I can ask him for recommendations.
Wow.
And I feel like having had that at the household gave me a really good musical foundation. I feel pretty open now because of that foundation that he gave me.
Of course, we can imagine that. Sí, le pregunté a Nicolás sobre su familia que escuchaba y me dice que el padre más que nada era una persona que venía del blues, que escuchaba mucho Elvis y bueno, después agarró toda la época grunge y que Nicolás dice que tiene mucha suerte de tener un padre como el que tiene porque le da un montón de información sobre la música, así que está súper contento.
Bueno,
sí.
¿Puedo meter un bocado?
Sí,
No,
sí.
decirles que hasta acá se puede ver un poco la base de la banda, ¿no? Porque, o sea, muy abierta musicalmente y con mucho grunge y también tiene esa cosa muy melódica de Nicolás.
Sí, buenísimo. You can show the steps for the band to playing like that, the way you talk about your family and the music you like. It's nice to hear that. And can you tell us if there are places to study music for free in Boston, or you only have to pay to study music?
Did you say to hear music or to study music?
No, to study music. Mm-hmm.
To study music. Yeah, I mean, like famously, like the Berklee College of Music is in Boston. I think there's a big hub there, and there's also like the Boston Conservatory. So I mean, there's sort of that degree of music studies happening. I mean, I know that like in high school did like music classes and things like that. I think a lot of my musical education has been self-educated for the most part. So I'm not sure, Bruce, do you have anything to add to that?
Yeah, I mean, well, there's UMass Lowell. Our drummer went to UMass Lowell for music. So that's another college closer to us. I personally, similar to Nick, I kind of just did it on my own. I didn't go to school for music. Yeah, so I guess I just learned it from the internet, from messing around myself, that kind of thing.
Wow, and with your friends and family, that's nice.
Yes,
okay.
Yes, exactly.
Sí. Bueno, le pregunté porque en la región es muy conocido, Manu, yo sabía que iba a saltar el tema de la Berklee, en Boston, Massachusetts está la Berklee, y le pregunté si había lugares para estudiar gratis, y me dijeron los dos, coincidieron que más que nada ellos fueron ¿cómo se dice, Manu?
Autodidactas. Sí, fueron autodidactas, sí. Pero no sabemos si son gratis todavía.
Claro, sí. No, Berklee no es gratis, la otra universidad que nombró tampoco es gratis, pero sí hay mucho nivel, me parece, en los colegios secundarios. Aprenden a tocar ya en los colegios secundarios a un nivel súper alto y ahí sí tienen acceso a aprender música gratis, pero ya después a nivel universitario, ya más profesional es todo pago y bueno, está una de las más grandes, más reconocidas academias de música populares que es la Berklee ahí en Massachusetts. Quería ver si salía el tema, así que perfecto. And can you tell us how did Pray for Sound begin? Your band, how did it begin?
Yes, I can do this one, Nick. So the band started with just me. So I wanted to start a musical project after I finished college, and I can't sing. So I thought, post-rock, cool. I enjoy it. I always have, and that was an easy way for me to go about it. Like I said before, I dabble with bass and whatnot, and so I recorded monophonic by myself.
Wow.
And then I put it out and sent it to a friend, Joe, our bassist, and he showed Nick, he showed Steve, and Chris at the time, and within couple months of the album coming out, I think we had practiced a few times and we played a show in Boston.
Wow. Bueno, le pregunté cómo empezó la banda y me dijo que más que nada fue Bruce, que empezó cuando terminó el colegio, cuando terminó el secundario, quería hacer algo relacionado con la música, bueno, y empezó a tocar y empezó a maquetear y a hacer el primer disco de Pray for Sound él solo. Bueno, y después se lo mostró un par de amigos y se empezaron a sumar. And can you tell us the steps for recording that first album? You were alone in your house, in a studio?
Yeah.
Really? Wow.
Alone in the house, just kind of blocking off time on weekends and after work and stuff, and writing music kind of the way I wrote it kind of by recording a track and then playing around with that. And then I just tried to, redo songs and make them sound good. Mm-hmm. And once I had a kind of a handful of songs that I thought were pretty solid and cohesive, I sent that over to get mixed and mastered. And I just did it piece by piece in my house.
Wow. Bueno, le pregunté, the first release, Monophonic, was in 2012. En 2012 sacaron el primer disco que se llama Monophonic y le pregunté cómo llegaron a ese disco y directamente él lo grabó en la casa. Después lo mandó a masterizar en otro lado, pero fue todo homemade, así que buenísimo. And in 2016, you released Everything is Beautiful, your second. Why you put that name? ¿Por qué le pusieron ese nombre?
So the album is kind of the concept is kind of there's a light and a dark side, and how those two things in life kind of clash. Dark experiences and bad experiences and good experiences. And I don't know. I think I was on a business trip or something like that. I was on a plane and I was looking out the window at the Grand Canyon. And I just thought it was beautiful. I think I posted a picture of it on social media and said everything is beautiful. And I guess the way I think about experiences in life, the bad things aren't necessarily all bad. And so that's sort of how I interpreted the name of that album and what was going through my head.
Nice. Bueno, le pregunté porque en el 2016 sacaron su segundo disco, Everything is Beautiful, todo es hermoso, y le pregunté por qué le pusieron ese nombre, y él me dijo que estaba pensando mucho en lo que es las cosas con luz y las cosas oscuras que suceden en la vida, y que estaba de viaje por negocios en un avión y estaba mirando al Gran Cañón y dijo, esto es hermoso, y empezó a pensar un poco también por qué, si las cosas malas en la vida son tan malas, y bueno, por eso después de ver el Gran Cañón desde un avión, después de pensar si las cosas malas son tan malas, le puso al disco Everything is Beautiful y listo.
Oh,
quedó muy bueno. We like that.
Oh, bueno.
Nice, Bruce.
Yeah. Thank you. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And in 2017, you traveled to Europe. You make a tour through Europe. How was that? Mm-hmm.
Oh, that was incredible. That's my favorite tour. That's probably my favorite thing that we've done. Is get the opportunity to go over there. I think the crowds, the shows in general were just incredible. I mean, a lot of people supporting and saying such nice things about our music and about us and hanging out with us before and after the shows. Just, it was great. It was like we were family there.
Wow. And how do you make contact with European musicians?
I'm sorry, what was that?
How do you make the contact to play in Europe?
So that was, I think it was mostly just social media. I mean, we did connect with Dunk Records pretty early in our careers. Just connected with them and wanted to, collaborate, do some releases with them. And through that, obviously, they put on the Dunk festival. And once we had that going, we had some other people at Dunk kind of help us book some additional shows.
Nice. Which countries you travel?
We did, let's see, we landed in Germany. We played, we played Amsterdam.
Wow.
We drove through Switzerland.
Nice.
I think we had a show in France. Yes, we played in Paris.
Wow.
I'm sorry, it's just so long ago.
No. we can understand, but really a nice travel, a nice trip to be, and with the
nice
band.
The cities are so close, and so it's just a short, maybe 4-hour drive to get to the next big city. It's great.
Ahí está. Bueno, es una de las cosas que yo vengo hablando como. Sorry, my Spanish Bruce, but I want to talk with Manu because here there are really small places. It's one behind the other. It's a really big difference than in North America, Latin America. Eso es una cosa que yo te había hablado mucho, Manu, que acá está todo mucho más cerca. Y fíjate que para un yankee, para un americano, manejar 4 horas no es nada. People here, if they have to drive 4 hours, they want to kill somebody, you know, it's really different. Sí, acá si manejan 4 horas se mueren claro. Y ellos agarran el auto y les parece todo cercano. Bueno, le pregunté porque en el 2017 hicieron una gira por Europa y dice que la gente fue muy receptiva con ellos y cómo habían hecho el contacto, dice, bueno, que a través de un par de sellos de música y aparte buquearon, hicieron pequeñas fechas con bandas, así que fue súper natural, me parece. A través de las social media se contactaron con sellos, bandas y se fueron a tocar en Europa y se divirtieron. Eso es lo que hay que hacer. That is what you have to do to play a lot. Nice. Sí.
Yo le quiero preguntar cómo se maneja con el tema de la batería, si las programa él o le dice a un músico cómo hacerlo, o tiene un baterista porque me parecieron fascinantes todas.
Sí. Manu really like the drums in your records, and they are live, they are MIDI. How do you manage that?
Nick, you wanna take a stab at this one?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
So our drummer actually, he has been the one that's been primarily recording our music for the course of our, I guess, discography. And he has a really pretty unique approach to like drumming because he's a pretty accomplished musician himself. So he really makes an effort to A, hit the drums as hard as possible, but B, make the parts something that's interesting and almost lyrical and that like flows with what the rest of the instruments are doing and fills space in a way that is engaging for the listener and engaging for him. He's always making a point to revise his drum parts to give them a lot of momentum. And then as far as the sound is concerned, we always try and go for these sort of really big open room sounds. Like Some of Everything Is Beautiful was tracked in a large open cabin. Some of the stuff on Dreamer was tracked in a large open garage. Waves was tracked in a really large open room, actually at Berkeley Studios. We're always going for these really big sounds. And then you get this great, drummer to play drums in those great spaces, and I think you get where a lot of the foundation for the songs comes from, in that big meaty sound.
Wow, really nice. Bueno, ahí está Manu, lo que vos decías. Manu really likes your drummer. He's the one that and we can hear that he plays really hard, but in a melodic way that mix really good with the other. Muy bueno el baterista. Sí, contó que también que fueron grabadas en espacios grandes, en estudios grandes, y por eso se siente el golpe bien, y aparte que toca muy fuerte y que se mezcla muy bien con los instrumentos.
Digamos el nombre del baterista, por favor.
Sí, can you repeat the name of the drum player, please?
Yeah, sure. So Steve Alaperta is the name of our drummer. And he also operates Kennedy Studios in Massachusetts, where we record and where we rehearse.
Okay, we are going to reach him too. Thanks for the info. Sí. Kennedy Studios, perfect.
¿Puedo meter otra más?
Sí.
No, preguntarle que la otra cosa que me gustaba de que lo que más me llamó la atención son las diferentes progresiones de acordes y eso. Y acá el amigo dice que no estudió música. ¿Cómo arman las estructuras de los temas? Pues son muy raras. Te maté con la pregunta, ¿no, Raúl?
No. Sorry, the question, Bruce. You didn't study music, but how do you play such chords? In it's your ear. How do you do that? The songs. How do you make the songs?
So I didn't do anything formally, but I learned from my father. Okay. So he showed me the early stages, some basic chords and whatnot. And then really the way I learned was I learned how to read tabs. And so I just learned a lot of my favorite songs. I learned one of the entire Coheed and Cambria records at one point. And that was a huge, they're awesome.
Heavy.
I learned a lot from just learning their songs and kind of taking those and making my own kind of spin on them.
Okay, but
I mean, my approach is if it sounds good, it's cool, you know. So I just kind of put my fingers on the fretboard and see what happens.
Okay, perfect. But for me, sometimes when bands make a collage between the I like this and that, it doesn't sound the way you but because it's like another way of transmit music. I don't know how to say it. Tienen como otra manera. Hay veces que el collage se nota de dónde viene, pero en ellos no se nota.
Sí.
We really like your music.
Se amalgama.
Exactamente, sí. Bueno, Manu le preguntó, sin haber estudiado música, cómo hacía esa progresión de acordes y cosas tan raras instrumentalmente, y dice que Bruce dijo que no la hace. Él no estudió formalmente música, pero sí le pasó un montón de data y de info al padre, y aparte fue estudiando cosas por internet, y que lee muy rápido tablaturas, y se sacó todos los discos de Coheed and Cambria, que es una banda bastante pesada. Bueno, y ahí empezó a crecer un montón musicalmente, y dice que para terminar de cerrar lo que le preguntamos, que él pone los dedos, si suena bien, listo, va para adelante, claro, y queda. Así listo. Que muy bueno. ¿Alguna otra pregunta, Manu?
No, por el timbre de la guitarra, por los efectos y eso. Vos sabés que a mí me encanta hablar de eso.
Manu wants to know about your guitar. Do you have a lot of instruments to play, or you have only one guitar? And only one guitar? Really?
Oh no, I have a lot. I have one that I just leave at the studio, and otherwise I'm sitting next to. I've got regular guitar, I've got a baritone, I've got a bass, I've got an acoustic, and then I've got another acoustic behind me.
Wow.
I've got too many instruments.
Well, they are from luthiers or from Fender, Gibson, which?
They're just guitars that I've kind of collected on my own over time.
And can you tell us they are from luthiers, Fender, Gibson, which?
Brand. So I primarily really like Paul Reed Smith. I think they feel really great. I have one of those at the studio. I have one of those here, and then I have a Fender Telecaster, a Fender P-Bass, and then this is a Taylor behind me.
Wow.
Beautiful.
Nice. Really
so it's nice to have a variety. I don't have like I like I said, I like Paul Reed Smith a lot. Feels good in my hand. It sounds great. But I don't. Whatever sounds good is cool for me.
Of course.
And how about pedals, distortion, reverb?
Oh yep. I got lots of those too. I got my pedal board next to me. So I use Strymon delay, a Volante tape delay. That one's great. I love that. The Electrical Audio Experiments Longsword. That's what I use for my distortion.
Beautiful.
And then I just use kind of any reverb works for me, but those are the three things that I primarily need kind of to play Pray for Sound is just a delay, preferably a tape delay, a distortion, and reverb. And so my reverb right now is a New Neighbor Wet.
Okay. Nice. Sí, nos dio una lata.
Bueno, ahora preguntar al bajista. ¿Qué le pueden preguntar al bajista? El cable que se compró.
Atrevido. Bueno, le preguntamos más o menos qué instrumentos usa Bruce. Dijo que bueno, tenía bastantes. Que él particularmente usa mucho Paul Smith. Tiene en el estudio de Jaun y tiene otra en casa. Fender P-Bass. Y tiene una guitarra ahí acústica Taylor, y bueno, y después sus pedales primarios son distorsión, reverb y delay, así que va al grano, Bruce va al grano. And Nicholas, how about you, with the instruments? What do you like?
Yeah. So I'm pretty exclusively Fender. I've been playing Fender guitars pretty much my whole life at this point, and I've got a Fender Jazzmaster, I've got a Fender Telecaster, and then I have another Telecaster that I've been borrowing from a friend for years and years and years. She won't like ever officially sell it to me, but I've definitely like taken, yeah, exactly. I've sort of taken it as my own.
Okay.
And then I also have a Squier actually bass here at home. And fortunately there are a handful of other guitars at the studio that are either owned by Steve or Joe that I will sort of rotate between sometimes when I'm looking for something different. So Joe has a Gibson SG that I really like to play sometimes. Steve has a Stratocaster that I like to play sometimes as well. But for the most part, it's all Fender for me for a long time. I just love the feel of it. I love the way that I get them set up. I love the sound. Like I love single coil pickups as well as P90s. And the Fender instruments seem to do that really well.
Perfecto. Bueno, le preguntamos a Nicolás sobre sus gustos musicales y dice que es una persona de Fender. Tiene una Jazzmaster, 2 Telecaster y aparte pide prestado algunas otras cosas y bueno, que de vez en cuando tienen también en el estudio Gibson para jugar, pero sus instrumentos primarios son las guitarras Fender. And can you tell us, is there like an instrumental music circuit in Boston, or where do you usually play?
Yeah, there is. There's definitely live music happening in Boston a lot. Instrumental music, I think, is a little bit harder to find. That being said, like we have friends in instrumental bands in the area that we play shows with, or we will play as like the one instrumental band on a show of otherwise like alternative rock or pop, whatever might be happening. So as far as like in Boston itself, we've played shows at a few venues in Allston, one called Great Scott, for example, and another one called O'Brien's. Upcoming pretty soon, we have a show in Lowell, which is 40 minutes north of Boston. We've been playing shows there for years as well. There's a venue called Tafeta. I think that will be playing with some other instrumental bands. So live music is always happening. Instrumental music, I think, might be a little bit harder to find, but pretty much anywhere that is willing to have us and that it makes sense for us to be on a bill with other musicians, we will try and make that work.
Wow, nice. Bueno, le pregunté si hay un circuito de música instrumental y me dijo que no particularmente, pero sí que en Boston está lleno de lugares para tocar, que hay un circuito muy grande de música donde tocan un montón de bandas, que particularmente bandas instrumentales nada más es un poquito más difícil de ver, pero sí que hay un montón de lugares que ellos tocan en un montón de venues y que tienen un show por venir en el norte de Boston, así que están tocando bastante. When you play with other bands, you play with rock bands, heavy metal bands. Which kind of bands you play with?
Yeah, honestly, like all of them. I mean, like I'm trying to think. Before pre-pandemic, we had played some shows with just like some alternative rock bands. We did a small run of shows after our European tour with more of like a metal band. When we play in Lowell, sometimes we play with pop rock bands. We've done the full gamut of genre as far as like who we will blend with. And honestly, it can be sometimes be really cool to play with an artist that you are very different from, because A, it offers the crowd something like a huge variety, you know, but B, it makes everybody else really stand out a lot, and I think that makes for a pretty cool show.
Of course, nice. Bueno, le pregunté si se mezclaban, con quiénes tocaban, y dice que sí, que tocaban con bandas pop, con bandas heavy metal, con bandas de todo, que después de volver de su tour de Europa, pre-pandemia tocaron con un montón de bandas alternativas de la zona, y que la verdad que no tienen ningún problema con mezclarse, y que a ellos les gusta mezclarse con todo tipo de artistas, y eso está bueno.
Por el público,
Sí.
dijo que por el público, y eso es algo que pasa acá.
Sí,
A vos
sí,
que
sí.
te gustan las coincidencias y eso,
sí.
pasa acá igual.
Sí.
I love a band from Boston who called Revocation.
Oh yeah.
You play with Revocation?
We haven't played with them. I don't know them personally or anything like that, but I do have a friend that is in a band that has, I believe, played with them, and it kind of helped them out a little bit around in the area. Yeah, they're awesome.
Tell to come to Argentina, please, come together.
Yeah, that would be
Sound and
I would love to
Revocation,
do
please.
that. I would love to talk.
Please. I love Revocation.
Email their managers and let them know that you want to see them with us.
Okay.
Okay.
Nice.
I promise.
Va, Manu.
I make that call.
All right.
I made that call. No, I really love Revocation.
¿Cómo le das rosca a Revocation? Terrible.
Yes,
terrible.
yes. I'm the biggest fan of Revocation, and I always love the
That's awesome. I'm gonna throw them on after this interview. I'm gonna listen to them.
Okay.
Wow. About the Revocation.
Just to we are going to close the interview. Can you tell us something about the future plans of the band, and how do you manage with social medias? You like social medias? Is everything okay with these streaming services? And some of the future plans of the band, please.
Yeah, sure. So I'll talk a little bit about some of the future plans, and then maybe Nick, you can talk a little bit about the social media stuff.
Okay.
Sure.
So future plans. So we have a lot of stuff kind of going on at the same time. Try to stay busy. We practice every week, kind of no matter what. Whether we have shows, we always have something to work on. So right now we're pretty focused on working on our next full length. So all through COVID, we pretty much wrote music. Obviously we weren't touring. We were able to get together for the most part during that time and work stuff together. So we have a pretty large handful of songs that we're considering, mostly written, mostly complete, that we're still kind of working through a little bit of the details on. But we'll probably start recording that pretty soon, and start trying to work out getting our next full length out. We're also working on, I mentioned Monophonic when we started the interview, the album that I recorded alone. So that album just turned 10 years old recently. And so we've had this idea, or I've had this idea, I guess, and I've pushed it on the rest of the band, to re-record that album as a band, all together, get Nick's, little flair in there, change the songs just slightly to kind of appeal more to us as we've aged, 10 years. And as we've played the songs live, we've been playing them live for a long time now, and they've kind of evolved a little bit over time. So we're kind of casually working on that as well. And then otherwise, we want to start getting back out there. We haven't played many shows. We haven't played a show since COVID. So we're kind of getting back out there. We have a show in October that Nick mentioned, kind of our welcome back, I guess. And from there, I'm hoping that we can get some, another European tour going. I really hope that we can get that going in 2023. And just, get out there more, because we love playing shows.
Ok, nice. Bruce respondió sobre los futuros planes de la banda. Tienen canciones para grabar, van a regrabar el primer disco que sacaron hace 10 años que se llamaba Monophonic, lo van a grabar tipo banda porque las canciones las tocaron mucho y ya evolucionaron, así que van a volver a regrabar ese disco Monophonic. Tienen canciones para entrar al estudio también, y aparte quieren salir a tocar a todos lados porque estuvieron muy parados por el tema del COVID, y en 2023 quizás vuelvan a Europa, así que tremendo. Nicholas, can you tell us a little thing about the social medias? How do you feel about that?
Yeah, sure. I mean, social media now feels like it's been essential for artists, I feel, for some time, not just for promoting yourself and promoting your music, but also to really connect with people, to connect with folks that we can work with, to connect with fans of the music. Like, we pretty much anytime we post something, whether it's a story or just a straight post, somebody reaches out to us about something, whether it's for example, you guys reached out to us about this. So perfect example. But then also maybe somebody will just say, hey, the music means a lot to me, or they want to share an experience they had or something like that. You know what I mean? So it feels, I don't want to use the phrase necessary evil, because I don't necessarily think social media is evil. I think that it really is a really powerful tool and has been a really powerful tool for our band. But lately we've been working with a friend of ours who's been helping us out with it. And honestly, it's been really wonderful to have her take a lot of the responsibility of posting and then relaying what people say back to us, because it sort of frees us up to just sort of worry about the music. Like as many people that are willing to help us out as possible with the quote like business side of things is always highly appreciated, because it allows us to focus on the music and the creative process and where we want to take the band artistically, which is always really great. And then you had also mentioned streaming for us. I think when we started the band, it was sort of just starting. Like I think the rise of Spotify really as like a dominant player was like 2012, 2013, 2014. So it wasn't even really a thought, honestly, when we started the band. Put your music out, put it on all these different platforms. And we were fortunate in that a few of our songs have ended up on some playlists, one of which is our most played song on Spotify, for example, a song called Sleeper. And with that came a certain degree of attention on our band, which has been really helpful. So, I mean, there's the side of it of like the streams to dollars equivalent, which I think every artist is sort of struggling with. But we also do see it as making our music as accessible to possible to everyone globally, and B, like another great tool for growing the band. So I think like all artists are sort of wading around in the technological pool right now and trying to figure out how to use these tools to connect with people in whatever way makes the most sense for their music. And right now it feels like we have a really good balance of that.
Yeah, we think the same. No, bueno, le pregunté por los servicios de streaming y las social media y dijo que, bueno, es importante para ellos, puntualmente los social media es importante para conectar con gente, o sea, con fans, para gente, para trabajar, o como nosotros que lo contactamos para hacer entrevistas. Dice que es una powerful tool, que es una herramienta bastante importante, pese a que ahora por el momento se lo están dejando también a otra persona que los ayuda con todo el tema de las social media para responder y postear cosas todos los días, y que dicen, bueno, que es una responsabilidad bastante grande, y ellos, como tienen una persona que los ayuda, también se pueden abocar más a la parte artística de la banda y ver puntualmente para dónde quieren llevar a la banda. Y con respecto al servicio de streaming, dice que los servicios de streaming más importantes como Spotify nacieron justo en la época cuando nació la banda, y que ellos no podían creer que sea tan dominante Spotify, y que, bueno, por suerte ellos aparecieron en una lista de una persona, una canción de ellos, y se hizo bastante conocida, así que dicen que tienen un buen balance entre lo que ellos quieren hacer y la social media y los servicios de streaming, así que están empatados. You're even with social medias and streaming services. Perfect. Nice. Así que muy bueno, están empatados con la social media, así que si te parece, Manu, cerramos, le preguntamos por la última canción y nos vamos.
Así es,
Dale.
así es.
Un placer. It was really nice to speak with you. Thank you, Nicholas and Bruce. And we are going to finish the interview with the...
I want to show them something more.
Manu, you get a fun...
Nice.
A vinyl, eh? It's a vinyl.
Red cord? A revocation.
Yes.
Revocation, nice.
Nice.
A revocation.
Sí. I think that...
In a few years, I want uno como esto, pero de Pray for Sound.
Sí.
Yeah. Let's make it happen.
Okay. I think that Manu is your first fan from Argentina. He really likes your band. Así que, sí, he's a fan from Pray for Sound. Thank you very much. And we're going to hear The Canyon. Can you tell us something little about the song The Canyon, and we close the interview?
Oh, yeah, sure. Absolutely. I'm really proud of this song. I'm thrilled that you guys are playing this one. This song started as a demo a really long time ago, and I was in sort of a really dark place when I was working on it, and I sort of used this song as an opportunity to kind of lift myself out of what I'd been feeling. I wanted to make something that felt really immersive and really pretty. And a really quick story about this song. Somebody reached out to us about this song specifically. They were listening to Waves on a road trip where they met their future wife, and they actually walked down the aisle to this song being played. So this song holds a really special place in our band and in my heart for sure.
Wow. Bueno, le preguntamos por la canción de Canyon que vamos a escuchar ahora y dijo que
Excelente.
fue una compañera de unos tiempos muy oscuros de Nicolas, y que aparte, bueno, unos amigos venían escuchando de Canyon, el disco en donde está de Canyon, y conocieron a su esposa y que la pusieron en el altar para casarse. Así que terrible. Really nice story. And thank you very much, Nicolas and Bruce. We are going to hear the Canyon, and thank you very much for your time. We keep in touch.
Thank you very much for having us. It was great.
Yeah, thank you so much. It was a lot of fun, guys.
Aguante Pray for Sam. Ole, 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 ole. Pray for.
Thank you very much.